I watched Meghan's show, all 8 episodes, and I thought it was all right. It was inoffensive, didn't get too irate about it. It just kind of passed by and thought, that's just simple bit of fun. What I can't get over is on the day that she's released this huge second series, hoping to get loads of coverage, she somehow torpedoes her launch with these comments about the royal family, saying that she found her time there inauthentic and complaining about wearing these tights. Why's she done that, Phil?
Well, as ever, Matt, I would imagine she's done it for publicity. She can't resist a dig at the royal family if she can get one in. I mean, the idea that somebody, either another member of the royal family or a courtier, actually said to her, you must wear, I think she calls them, is it nude pantyhose? We call them neutral tights, isn't that right, in this country?
Yeah. This is the UK cross-Atlantic.
The idea that someone would actually tell her what underwear to wear and is ridiculous. But she also said that she missed her children while she was over. We assume that was when after the Queen died. And, you know, it's completely unnecessary to bring that all up now when she's basically trying to promote her cookery programme. I mean, what's that got to do with it? So I think it's going for publicity, but it's also trying to get another dig in. And I'm afraid that's, you know, it's not going to go down well at the palace. It's not going to go down well with William. And, you know, they will just see it as another attack on them. But in terms of the actual programme itself, I have to be honest, Matt, I haven't seen them. I've seen clips. I mean, my sort of theory is that life's a bit too short, really. I haven't watched them all.
Don't do it to yourself.
Yeah, no, I've seen the clips, I've read the reviews, and it's pretty much the same stuff as before. I think it was filmed about the same time as the first series. And it's the normal sort of mixture of bit of cookery, you know, a bit of promotion, a few celebrity chef friends dropping in, and a couple of digs at the royals, and that's about it, really. But
we'll get into
some people will like it, and good luck to them, but it's not my cup of tea.
We'll get into some of the reviews. Obviously, you know, you might not be able to get stuck into the reviews, Phil, and tell us exactly what you think. We'll get stuck into some of the reviews about what people are saying, whether it is going to be a hit or not, and get your opinion on it. But Samara, I just want to return to this interview that Meghan's done with Bloomberg, where she was discussing about her time in the royal family. A question was posed to her about how does she marry up, you know, the tension between what she's doing now and being a Duchess of Sussex. But it was 5 years ago. Why is she still referring back to settling old scores in the royal family?
Well, exactly, Matt. It was completely self-inflicted when she brought that up. They didn't really lead her down the path of, and how did you feel in the royal family? Did they suppress you? It wasn't like an Oprah-esque interview. It was meant to be about business and pots of jam. But, of course, she can't stray very far away from her victim complex and all the trauma that happened to her during that time within the firm. I mean, it's pretty funny when that whole interview, she was trying to be relatable. You know, you could see her trying to get the smash burgers with the journalist and trying to walk through a bookshop and, you know, I'm an every woman, I'm living my California life. But the truth of the matter is that saying that wearing pantyhose and neutral colours was some form of suppression is not relatable at all. So she can't actually even fathom that would be sort of a horrible issue for her. I just think that she's absolutely incapable of being authentic, and that shined through in the Bloomberg interview.
Well, she also said that, you know, talking about her past again, which we believe that she had moved on from talking about time in the royal family, that she couldn't be so vocal. But when she was asked whether to defend what she said about Donald Trump in 2016, she didn't want to get involved. And she was talking about how she wanted to move on, and she was criticising the critics, and we'll get on some of the critics later, saying that the critics of her show just do it to pay the bills and probably go away and take part in her one skillet spaghetti. I just can't understand why she can't move on. But the worry that I have is that, you know, her claim to fame is ultimately going to be that she walked out on the royals. She doesn't seem to have moved on with her show.
Well, she still likes calling herself the Duchess of Sussex, doesn't she? She picked somebody up on that when they called her Meghan Markle. So she wants to have a cake and eat it, doesn't she? She wants to, you know, claim that they've left the royal family, claim they're nothing to do with it anymore, and they're not ruled by their rules anymore. Yet at the same time, sort of tells someone else that, you know, she's still the Duchess of Sussex. So it's a question of trying to have it both ways, isn't it? You know?
Totally. I mean, even when
for commercial reasons. You know?
Yeah, I mean, she was questioned about being relatable. She goes, well, that's someone else's detriment if they don't find me relatable. I mean, that's a very harsh thing to say to people who have said, you know, that $9 pot of jam is something that I can't afford. She was saying it was for teenage girls so that they could have a slice of her lifestyle, which, again, out of touch, Meghan. I mean, $9 for a pot of jam is not cheap, newsflash.
No, they're calling her Marie Antoinette Meghan, aren't they?
Yeah, well...
Let them eat jam.
Precisely, but she's given that name to herself. She's walked right into it, and I think that Bloomberg interviewer did a good job of kind of almost revealing that, but in a very subtle way.
Yeah, I just thought it was a mistake to put it out on the same day. Just let people watch the show, and I just thought that interview.
She also didn't she post a picture of Lilibet kissing a dog? It was Dog's Day as well. They couldn't leave that out. Had to sort of jump on the bandwagon of Dog's Day.
Well, and Harry surfing a wave, which it was just random, but I think she was trying to get some publicity out of him.
Harry's not in the show, is he? So that's quite interesting. That there's nothing of Harry at all. Might be a photograph of him in the background or something, but he's not in it. So I think that's quite significant. And that plays into the sort of feeling that they're going their separate ways commercially. He's doing his charity work and she's doing that. But no, he's not in it apparently. So
no, he's not.
Well, let's get on to the show.
We don't see him coming in and even lick the plate or something.
Yeah,
Test it out.
Netflix, yeah, they wouldn't have been happy.
Well, let's get on to the show because, Phil, you've seen clips. I've watched all 8 episodes. I said that I just found it inoffensive and, it just passed me by and relatively enjoyable, but moved on. Samara, the critics have been rather scathing again, like they were on Series 1. I'll just read some of the ones that we have so far. The Times says, save yourself, don't do it. The Guardian, so painfully contrived that it's genuinely fascinating. And Phil, you touched on this. The Telegraph says more tone deafness from the Montecito Marie Antoinette. Are these over the top, or do you share these views?
I mean, what's really interesting is that she's unified the entire media spectrum. I mean, from the so-called, left-wing to right-wing media, everyone hates this. So you can't just say, oh, it's trolls trying to pay their bills, as Meghan does say. It's everyone that doesn't actually enjoy the show as a piece of television. I mean, it was. I know you might have enjoyed it, but I thought
I didn't enjoy it. I just found it bearable.
Yeah, I know, and I know what you mean by saying that, but I think that for the amount of money that it took to produce, the amount of resources that went into it, over 80 crew members, it could have been a lot more spectacular, and it wasn't. So purely as a piece of television, I can see why the reviews have been so scathing.
All those critics that you're reading out are all British, though, aren't they? I'd be interested. We've got a lot of American viewers on this programme. I'd be interested to know what the American reviews are or how it goes down in the States. I mean, a lot of the celebrities, I've never heard of them, to be honest, but they're probably quite big names in America, her friends who've dropped in. So it'd be interesting to know how it goes down in the States, but certainly over here it's been panned, but that's probably not their main audience.
Well, why do we think the reviews are so bad? Is it because it is dreadful, as people have pointed out, or is there just, a general hate watch on Meghan shows, and there is everyone's just in this channel where anything Meghan does is bad, or is it really that bad?
I think it's just the fact that nobody believes that she's, one of the guests says that apparently she is a very good cook, but I mean, we've got no evidence of that. She says she doesn't like baking, funnily enough, which Kate, actually, the Princess of Wales, apparently is a very, very good baker, a very good chef on that front. But I just don't think people believe that she's actually an expert, and so she's just jumping on the sort of celebrity chef bandwagon and doing it purely because of who she is. And, she hasn't really got much to tell us about anything sort of particularly new about cooking. It's just sort of, promoting a few products and cue this QI code at the end and that'll lead you to this product. And I think on the last series, they sold out, didn't they, the products, but they didn't make very many of them. So whether Netflix have made much money out of that or not, we don't know. But I just think people just think it's not very authentic, is it?